is AJ, and in this video, we were going to tackle about the electromagnetic spectrum and the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and to the environment. So first thing first, we were going to discuss the electromagnetic waves. So what is the electromagnetic waves? So this is the electromagnetic waves theory. We are surrounded with thousands of waves. Waves collide with our bodies and some pass through us. So that is why most of these are invisible. The warmth of the sun and the light we see are just a few of them. These waves are called electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves or EM waves are waves that are created as a result of vibrations between an electric field and a magnetic field. In other words, EM waves are composed of oscillating magnetic and electric fields. So electromagnetic waves are formed when an electric field comes in contact with a magnetic field. They are hence known as electromagnetic waves. So the electric field and magnetic field of an electromagnetic wave are perpendicular at the right angles to each other. They are also perpendicular to the direction of the EM waves. So the electromagnetic waves are different from mechanical waves in some important ways. So the electromagnetic waves are disturbance that transfers energy through a field. They can travel through medium, but what makes them strange is that they can also transmit through an empty space. As for EM waves, they can travel through empty space or vacuum, so they do not give up their energy. This enables EM waves to cross great distances such as that from the Earth to the Sun, which is almost vacuum without losing energy. And aside from that, when they interact with matter, their energy can be converted into many different forms. With these characteristics, electromagnetic are used for a wide variety of purposes. Radiation is a term used to describe the transfer of energy in the form of EM waves. For a mechanical wave to travel, it must vibrate the medium as it moves. This makes use some of the wave's energy. In the end, it makes them transfer all energy to the medium. So in physics, electromagnetic radiation consists of waves of the electromagnetic field propagating through space and carrying electromagnetic radiant energy. It includes radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. All of these waves are part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So EM waves also are used to transmit long, short, FM wavelength radio waves and TV, telephone, wireless, signals or energies. They are also responsible for transmitting energy in this form of microwaves, infrared radiation, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. So the electromagnetic waves are produced whenever electric charges are being accelerated. This makes it possible to produce electromagnetic waves by letting an alternating current flow through a wire and antenna. The frequency of the waves created in this way equals the frequency of the alternating current. So these are the types of electromagnetic radiation. Firstly, we have radio waves. So radio waves are used to broadcast radio and television. Secondly, we have the microwaves. So microwaves are used in cooking, radar, telephone, and other signals. Next, we have the infrared rays. So infrared rays transmits heat from sun, fires, and radiators. And fourthly, we have visible lights. So visible lights make things able to be seen. For the next one, we have the ultraviolet. So ultraviolet absorbed by the skin and used in fluorescent tubes. Another one, we have the X-rays. So it is used to view inside of bodies and objects. And lastly, we have the gamma rays. So the gamma rays is used in medicine for killing cancer cells. Thus, all of them are types of electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic spectrum with its wavelength. And now, let's proceed to the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and to the environment. So in this topic, the term radiation is elastic. Unfortunately, it has come to mean something terrible in an ordinary conversation. Literally, radiation means anything emitted from a localized source, but in the context of biology, it means something quite specific. Human beings live amidst a sea of radiation of all sorts. It is useful to classify these radiations according to their biological effects, especially in human beings. Since the early part of this century, we have been aware that all radiation, including the electromagnetic fields, consist of particles. And so, the more energy the particles of radiation transmit to living cells, the more they can affect them. And also, we classify radiation according to increasing energy per particle, because this is the same as listing them according to increasing harmfulness. So in this electromagnetic spectrum, we generally classify radiation as ionizing or non-ionizing. So ionizing means radiation such as X-rays which pass through our skins, whereas non-ionizing radiation stops at our skins. And so, in the electromagnetic spectrum, we have the low frequency, that is magnetic fields and power lines. The non-ionizing and non-bioactive is the radio, which is the AM and FM radio, and also the infrared, like heat lamps, radiant heaters, and wood stoves. And so, the non-ionizing and is bioactive is the ultraviolet, which is the UV tanning lights and the sunlight. One of the ionizing and bioactive is X-rays, which is the medical and dental X-ray machines, TV, and computer cathode ray tubes. And also, the gamma rays is part of it, which is the radioactive decays and cosmic rays. On the other hand, we will know the hazards of electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic radiation can be useful as well as hazardous. So, overexposure to certain types of electromagnetic radiation can be harmful. The higher the frequency of the radiation, the more damage it is likely to cause to the body. In medicine, energy at radio frequencies can be used to produce local heating tissues at low intensities, and this is called diathermy. So, at high intensities and higher frequencies, this effect is applied in surgery to exercise tissue while cauterizing it. We also have the microwave ovens. So this emits radio waves at wavelengths, especially absorbed by water molecules. So the molecules absorb energy and hot, so thereby it's cooking the food. And as far as hazard to life and limb is concerned, a leaky microwave oven can give you an ordinary burn from too much heat. Powerful radar systems can kill at short ranges. Basically, the organisms absorb too much power. They are also known to stimulate cataracts in the lenses of the mammalian eyes. So the next, we have the infrared radiation. The infrared radiation lies beyond the red end of the visible light, and it is emitted by all objects. So the amount and wavelength of the radiation, it depends on the temperature. On the other hand, prolonged infrared exposure can lead to cataracts, corneal ulcers, and retinal burns. And also, the infrared radiation in the sunlight can damage the skin. Also, the human skin rises to about 40 degrees Celsius as it converts the absorbed infrared into heat. So now, let's proceed to the effects of penetrating radiation. Our eyes detect electromagnetic waves in the wavelength region of violet to red. That is why the energy of visible light photons is sufficiently great to excite atoms and molecules, or to break the weaker types of chemical bond. So for example, the hydrogen bond. And now we have the ultraviolet radiation. So the ultraviolet radiation is found naturally in sunlight, and we cannot see or feel it. But our skin responds to the UV exposure by turning darker over time. So this is called suntan. So this happens as our bodies attempt to reduce the amount of UV radiation reaching deeper to our skins. UV rays have high energy. It could be harmful to some extent. It could burn our skins or hurt our eyes. And overexposure to UV radiation may cause skin cancer. However, some UV must penetrate to basal cells in order to convert lipids into vitamin D, and it is vital to calcium utilization. X-rays. So X-rays was discovered by Wilhelm Conrad Roentgen in 1895. He realized that they could penetrate solid matter and produce a shadow image on photographic film. In medical, X-ray machines is very needed. It is used in diagnostic practices throughout the civilized world. And also, they discovered that unlimited exposure to X-rays was unwise because it gives some skin burns and lesions that took a long time to heal compared to the ordinary burns. In addition, X-rays damage cells using mutations, which may lead to cancer and cell death. This is why doctors and dentists stand behind protective screens when they taking a lot of X-rays. We know that all X-rays are dangerous. They can damage healthy cells, and also frequent exposure should be avoided because it can damage body tissues and can cause cancer. And so for the last one, we have the gamma rays. Gamma rays carry the highest energy that are strong that it can damage cells causing mutations and cells death, same as X-rays. They can only be blocked with lead and thick concrete. Gamma rays are used to treat cancer through the process called radiotherapy, and also they are used for sterilization of drinking water. And that is for our topic, the electromagnetic spectrum, the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and the environment, and hoping that you gained more learnings on this video.